Live from Brooklyn, New York, this is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the music business and the music culture. Very happy to be here. Very special day for multiple reasons. We'll get into that as the time comes. But of course, it's the boy Armon Sadler, vegan chorizo poppy, founder of Ball Nigga Ballers, captain of the Munch Militia, 10 Shades Darker, back from Jamaica. Me and Nick had a time. We had a time in Jamaica. We had a time. Shout out to Bose and Tiffany on your beautiful wedding. I almost didn't leave. Like, we was about to start Stay Busy Jamaica out there. But I'm here to deliver a show for y'all. So, of course, thank you to all you listeners tapping back in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for all visual episodes, YouTube shorts, past busy sessions, or you can subscribe on your preferred audio platform. Leave a review, a like, a comment, share, engage with us on social media at StayBusyPod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to get some exclusive content, hit the Patreon, patreon.com/StayBusyPod. The link is in our bio. Of course, thank you to Young Prince for joining us on our last episode. The clip went crazy. I was getting a lot of ball jokes for the last couple weeks. But hey, man, like, you're a hilarious dude. I love everything that you're doing. I really appreciate you stopping by the show. A lot of people enjoyed that episode. So besides the jokes, there was some insightful things to gain from it. And of course, shout out to the team. Nick Early is in the building, executive producing at a high level as only he does. We're going to start the GoFundMe to the petition for Nick to give us music. We've been waiting. The street's been waiting. I'm still running up hindsight, but hey, like, hindsight is 2020. I don't want to look back no more. I want to look at Spotify and see that 2023 and a new song out. So we gonna pull that song from Nick. Of course, shout out to Kieran, VP of Everything the Man You Cannot See But You Can Feel, and Shavonda Shields, our VP of Engagement and Communication. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for an amazing season, team. Now, one of the reasons that this is a very special episode, I got my guy here. Now, this is one of the most visible yet elusive men in media, and I say that because we work in the same office, and I can count on maybe two hands how many times I've seen him in the office. But it's okay, because he be out here doing his thing, cooking on the Debut Live, Billboard Live, Audio Max Beyond the Beat, and his Grammy Conversations. This brother, a fellow Haitian king, has interviewed pretty much everyone you could possibly think of in music. Like literally, like, you listeners, think of a name right now. Think of three names. Say them to yourselves, and then look up I don't want to say his name. Look up the guy's name that I'm going to say later. And he's probably interviewed that person that you're thinking about, because he's out here. It's always a pleasure to read his captions about the guests that he's had on his shows and how he met them years ago, and something that he said impacted them, and full circle moments. Just a lot of full circle moments in this guy's career. And it shows that he leaves a lasting impression. And beyond that, the pen game is mighty. I want to introduce to you all the deputy editor of R&B and hip hop of Billboard, Carl Lamarre. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Man, that was a rousing intro. I appreciate that. I still can't get over the captain of the Munch Militia.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yo, that is a
loud
bar,
and proud,
bro.
Loud and proud, man.
I love that, man. I gotta add some AKAs, man.
Yeah. You know, it sticks with people. Like, people see me, they'll be like, "Yo, vegan chorizo poppy," or "Ball Nigga Ballers," or, you know, shit. It sticks.
That is tough.
It sticks.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that to my homework assignment.
There we go. Hey, I can't wait to hear him, man.
No, thank you.
But it's great to have you, man.
No, I appreciate it, man.
How's everything?
I'm alive, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I thank you for having me on the show, man. I see
course.
what you've been doing. You're a fucking monster, man.
Thank you, bro.
Like, Vibe is really, like, resurrected because of what you, Mark, and the whole team, Amber, what y'all been able to do, man. So y'all keeping a historic brand, keeping the legacy intact. You know, that's super important, man.
Yeah, Absolutely, man. The PMC gang, we here. We here.
Yeah, you know the vibes. You know the vibes.
But let's get into this conversation. We're going to start off with the whether you like. So whether you like Microsoft or Google, rice or noodles, Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels, and French bulldogs or poodles. So Microsoft or Google, which one do you prefer?
Google.
Google. It was just quick. Like there's no competition.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get that bread too. Holla at me, Google. Everything's a brand deal now. Holla at me, Google.
I'm not gonna front. Work has made me more open to Microsoft Outlook. That's what we use. So
you know what it is too. I think as a writer, I'm living on a lot on Google Docs.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Google's been good to me the last couple of years. Microsoft Outlook's been doing me dirty, man. Yeah, man. Like, you can't ever go wrong with Gmail. So
it's true.
Shout out to Google, man. Holla at the boy.
Absolutely. Now, rice or noodles? Now, whether it's a soup or whether you out to like one of them like mall Chinese food spots, like is you getting your orange chicken with rice or you getting some noodles with that?
This is tough. I'm gonna go with noodles.
Okay.
Ironically, I made like a little was it last night? I made a dish last night.
Chef Carl?
Yeah. I made a little seafood, a little fake pad thai type of situation. I had some Thai noodles with some lobster and shrimp.
That's what's.
It was a little teriyaki sauce, a little cashews.
Sound quality.
A little something.
Put the cashews in there.
You know what I'm saying? Try to be a little fancy. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Got about like a little $15 lobster. So let me chef up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm a noodle guy too.
Yeah.
But rice is great though. Like it's like I feel like they both go with different things. Like Jamaican food, I'm obviously getting rice. Like that, it just goes without saying.
I mean, it's like what she said too, man. Like rice is a whole different kind of beast when it comes to the Caribbean side.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel bad. I've been letting my Haitian people down lately because I've been eating a lot of rice.
Damn.
It's been straight noodles, man.
I feel you.
Yeah, man. Carbs is fucking me up.
Yeah. You got to be conscious. You got to be conscious. For sure.
Yeah, man.
Now, when it comes to the snacks, Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels?
Yo, I haven't had either in years.
Me neither.
Yo, man, I think I graduated from Pop-Tarts. I used to be a huge Pop-Tart head.
Yeah, me too.
Man, the s'mores hit different.
The s'mores was my favorite.
The cinnamon joints hit different.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, Pop-Tarts, just for the nostalgia.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to fuck up some toaster strudels too.
I mean, Pillsbury, they you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
I used to eat a lot of toaster strudels.
Pillsbury Dome boy, you know what he doing, man.
Yeah.
He out here baking, cooking that rock up, man.
Legendary.
Cooking that crack
Legend
up,
in the game.
man.
I probably go Pop-Tarts too, but
Okay.
it's not a big gap. It's not a big gap. You're not a pet owner, correct?
I am not, but it's funny. Like on my way here, if you look at my IG, yo, the amount of dogs I follow is nasty, man. Like I was just looking at a blue staffy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A mom. Like I'm dying to get a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Dying to, man.
Yeah, I've been telling my girl like when we move in together, I'm getting a French bulldog. Like, I'm absolutely getting a French bulldog. I love French bulldogs.
So you know what's crazy about that? I'm intentionally waiting to get back in a relationship. That's when I'm gonna get a pet.
Yeah,
but I'm scared because if we break up, who's taking
shared
the dog?
custody?
You know what I'm saying?
Shared custody.
Who the one bringing? You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
Like it's gonna get messy, man.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So realistically, if that time does come, you know, hopefully get a nice blue staffy.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Now I'm biased here because I want a French
Of
bulldog,
course.
but between French bulldogs and poodles,
I'm taking a French.
Frenchie.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking a French.
I respect
No offense to the poodles. Yeah.
Yeah, poodles cool. Poodles cool. There's a lot of cute ones out here, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about the French bulldogs look like menacing, but they also
tough,
cute as
man.
hell too.
Yeah, man. They're
Can't
super
wait.
huggable. They with the shits.
Like, yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah. My girl be sending me videos, so my TikTok algorithm is like French bulldogs, music shit, funny shit. So I'm looking at bulldogs.
You know what's
every
so crazy? Like I take pride in my Explorer, man, because I know some niggas. Like I can curse.
Yeah, we can.
I know some niggas that got some weird shit
Yeah.
on their Explorer. I'll never judge, but I was looking at my Explorer the other day, and I was like, yo, this is pretty clean, man. And I was like, I got some basketball. I got some weights. I got some food. I got some dogs. I got some music.
Mm-hmm.
This is well versed.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, it's just what it is. Like, everyone attacks the algorithms in different ways.
There's levels.
You gotta make the algorithms work for you. Let's get into a fit check, man. Though the kicks is nice. Like, let the streets know what you got on for.
Yo, man. I you know what? I was worried about being a poop putt, but I honestly just threw some shit on, man. I got some retro ones. You know,
good feet.
Nothing too crazy. Oh, you got boom. I'm gonna put them up. There we go. Little something. You know what I'm saying? It's funny, this OVO shirt I haven't worn since OVO Fest 2019.
Wow.
So I'm going through like my clothes or whatever, because I had to do a Zoom with LL before my way here. I was like, I need to fucking throw a shirt on. I found this, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This could be throw some black jeans. This could work. This could work. So something modest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's swaggy though.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I can't be looking like a poop putt on Stay Busy, man.
Absolutely. Let's jump into this chat. A lot to get to over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Let's talk some basketball, man. This Dillon Brooks and LeBron James thing, and I feel like it's a very good example. I feel like we see these types of interactions in music where like a young nigga's trying to come at an old nigga. Like, how do you feel about Dillon Brooks and the energy that he brings to basketball, in particular LeBron James with that post-game interview?
Yeah, I think with Dillon, man, like, he's doing what a young kid should do. He's trying to get his clout up. You know what I'm saying? He's talking that shit. He's trying to poke the bear, not knowing that the bear is arguably the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
And my only thing with Dillon is like, yo, bro, it's one thing if you about to cook. You can't be going 3 for 13, dog. You know what I'm saying? You can't be getting ejected, dog.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw an old interview he did. He's like, yeah, something about Bron can't go left. The nigga went left to close the game on you, B. First Laker to put up 20, 20, and 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have some kind of sensibilities, you know? And if you're a young cat, just in general, in any arena, do your homework, do your due diligence before you try to attack a LeBron, a Jay, a Drake, because you will fucking get violated on every fucking level.
Yeah.
Like, Dillon, you making light-skinned cats look terrible. We are down. We are down.
A coalition meeting.
Bro.
the light-skinned task force come together.
We are down. And I just I heard a report yesterday, too. Like, the Grizzlies, they trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
They were dying to get rid of them.
The coach said that they're not mature. Like, I think he said it either to them or to the media. Like, they're not mature. And it's like, we've seen that all season. Ja, Bane, like, they some wild boys. They good. They're good. They got a lot of potential, but they're not disciplined.
And they about to get scrubbed out the first round.
Yeah. Scary. It reminds me of a couple years ago when Lil Pump and J. Cole were having their little back and forth. I don't remember if Pump... I don't remember if Lil Pump made a song towards him, but I know he said something, and that Cole got him on 1985. Cooked him. Like, absolutely cooked him. It's like, you could talk. I'm going to use my craft to show you, like, why you should not be saying anything to me. Similar to what LeBron did.
But you know what's crazy about, like, that whole 1985 thing? Where's Pump now, man?
I saw he did an interview recently. I think he's putting out an album soon.
He did it with Complex. But you see the prophecy. Like, he was one of the rising SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And dude fell the fuck off, respectfully.
Gone.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Dillon, you might have another 2-3 in the league, and you cooked. You clipped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Bron could just blacklist niggas for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
But it's not even Bron that's going to do it. It's your game.
Yeah, it's you. Yeah.
It's one thing if Pump was consistently churning out records. And, you know, he had the Kanye, the I Love It record.
Yeah.
But after that,
disappeared. Disappeared.
You hate to see it. But I'm rooting for Pump, man. He looks like he's not on drugs anymore. He looks like he's clean. The perm looking fresh. You know what I'm saying? I want cats to win, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the one thing with like Dillon that I could relate to. I remember being a freshman on the football team. I came in talking a lot of shit to like seniors because it was like you got to establish yourself in the pecking order. You got to let niggas know like they can't try to what's the word? Try to like downplay your ability, shit like that. So I get that, but similar to what you said, you got to deliver on the court. Like 3 for 13 is not it. Like me, like I started for the freshman team, so it was like I was talking a lot, but I had a starting spot. Like you got to show and prove and not just talk. So
bro, you can't be shooting 30%, averaging 8 points.
Yeah, and
you trying to go against Bron. Now your team is down 3 games to 1.
Yeah, it's it's been a great playoffs. Me and Nick were talking about it before we were starting recording. Like these playoffs, this is one of the best first rounds, like all the matchups in years. Because most first rounds we would kind of just overlook. Like, all right, they're gonna win at 5. They're gonna get swept. They might go 7, but most of them it's like we're just ready to get to the next round. I've been like anticipating every single game. The Knicks up 3-1 on the Cavs, like that shit is crazy. Now you're a Knicks fan, right?
Yeah. I'm glad you said that shit crazy. Listen, Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh yeah,
we calling it.
All right,
we calling. We if we play Jimmy's gonna cook us, but we gonna win in 7. Jimmy gonna average 40, but we gonna win in 7.
I gotta say, man, Jalen Brunson was a great pickup for y'all. Like a lot of people said y'all overpaid. When he was on the Mavs, I was like, oh, he's nice. Like he was a really good player too to Luka, but seeing him kind of come into his own and really lead that Knicks team, it's great to see.
That's how light skinned cat's supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Jalen coming in averaging 24, should have been an All-Star this year.
It was crazy. He wasn't. Definitely crazy.
Man. But to your point, this is the most open I've seen.
Yeah.
Like the playoffs. I can't tell you who's going to win the chip. It could go to anybody. So I'm looking forward to see how that shapes up. For sure.
Let's get to some music stuff, though. There's been a very incessant conversation led by one Jim Jones.
Jimmy!
these top rapper lists. We know a thing or two about top rapper lists, Billboard and Vibe. But we dropped that, months ago? And it's still a topic of conversation among people. And Jim has just been on a press run of sorts, going on every podcast, every radio interview, saying, like, Pusha T's not top 50. On Rap Caviar, he said Big Sean and NBA Youngboy was ahead of him, and I think he said Mace was ahead of him too. And then he went on Breakfast Club and asked people if they could name 5 Pusha T records, and it's gotten into this whole conversation of like real hip hop fans, and obviously the whole Drake of it, because Drake bringing out Dipset at the Apollo show, people think that Jim is like dick riding and shit like that. So there's just a lot of different narratives about the whole situation. Huh?
That's it.
What you think Jim is?
No, that's what it is.
Oh.
I mean, and I love Jim.
Respectfully.
I love Dip.
Yeah.
You know, Diplomatic Immunity 1 and 2 classics. But realistically, you know, he also said Drake is the greatest rapper of all time.
Is he not?
I mean, it's, you know, to me, no, he's number 2.
Number 2, okay.
You know, I think Jay's number 1. Do I think Drake could surpass him? Yeah. So I'm not mad at that take at all. But I think in the case of Jim, it's also like, to your point, he brought him out at the Apollo. If I'm Jimmy, I'm still hunting for a Drake verse because I will put him back on the charts. And I also think he had genuine love for Drake, where he's going to protect him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously one of his adversaries still is Push. And I commented on Charlamagne's post when he posted the Breakfast Club thing. And I said, yo, when you look at Push's history, you think of what he did with Malice, right? Hell Hath No Fury. It's a fucking classic.
Easily.
Lord Willing. It's a fucking damn near classic. Grinding it should be in the fucking Library of Congress.
Yeah.
And you think about what he's been able to do on the solo side. Daytona. Classic.
Yeah.
The freaking album, It's Almost Dry. People you would debate is like best rap album 2022.
A lot of people felt that. Yeah.
And then we're not even including his features.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. Do I think Push? I think we got him at 25, 26. My personal list, I probably would have brought him lower. But he's on the list. He should be on the list to me.
I respect that. Yeah, I definitely don't agree with Jim. Like, I respect Push, the lyricist. He's obviously someone I grew up with. Like, so not grew up with, like, but grew up listening to.
I was gonna say,
rather, me and Push was in the sandbox. But got a lot of respect for him, and I think it's interesting. Jim is using this to like get attention because like there's been a lot of people praising his music over the last few years. Like he's been on this second or third wind of his career where it's like you don't necessarily need to draw this attention to yourself when the music you're putting out has been so good. He's on like 2 DJ drama collabs in the last couple of years. Like
he loves the sport, man. And you know, I was able to talk to Jim and Hitmaker. I think that's one of the best projects this year so far. I think Jim I said this to Jim, and I have no problem saying this on the record. Like, I think outside of Nas, I think the last 18 months, Jim is probably in the top 5 when it comes to vast improvement. And in terms of musicality.
Yeah.
of what he's been able to deliver. Like,
sure.
there was a point where Cam was considered that go-to guy of Dipset. If you look at it in a totality sense, I think you have an argument that Jim is now the elite standout rapper of Dipset.
Yeah.
Just because of his consistency and him getting better project at the project.
For sure. Yeah, so it's a really interesting case. It's been funny. The discourse has been kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, because it's just because, like, the Drake Push thing at this point, 5 years later, like, and the fact that that's what people are so focused on, and again, it makes sense with the whole Jim Jones Push thing. It makes sense, but it's just led to these, like, real hip hop conversations and complaints about list culture and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I hate the list, but I always comment on the list. So the lists are achieving what they set out to.
Listen, bro.
Like, we'll stop writing lists when y'all actually stop caring about them.
Listen, bro. The week the list came out, it did 15 million views.
Insane.
You know what I'm saying? That's week 1.
Yeah.
And we got the culture talking. Freaking Nicki Minaj spoke on it. And there's artists that I spoke to off the record who said, yo, real shit, the list wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the hardest thing about it, I think we got the right names. I think the top 10 was spot on.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
I just think the only thing that was tough is probably, like, the placement of the names.
Yeah.
You could, and that's the point. You could reshuffle shit around, but I think that core 50, I think we did what we had to do. And
that's the thing is, like, we always talk top 5, top 10. We never talk about, all right, 20 to 50. Well, where are they gonna go?
I dare niggas to make a list like that, bro.
Yeah, like people say they care. They say, oh, we 25, but they don't really care. Like, no one ever puts that effort into who's 26, who's 33, who's 45. Like, no one ever cares that much.
There were certain artists, like, I even had to fight. Like, I was mad. I was like, word, we gonna leave Jeezy out. Like, we gonna leave Raekwon out. I'm a Lupe head. We gonna leave Lupe out.
Can't leave Lupe off the top 50.
You know what I'm saying? And the beautiful thing about these kind of lists, they're all subjective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think people just got to grasp that at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. But Jim Jones is funny, man. He's funny. Like,
he's a comedian.
Him in the car yelling into his phone, NBA young boy, big show. Like,
oh yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Like, he was
tactical.
He was putting a little sauce on it, but it got the people going.
Exactly.
It got the people going. Frank Ocean and Coachella. Whew. That has been another major topic of discussion. So for those who were not aware, Frank Ocean was set to headline Coachella weekend 1. He came out late. He apparently had, like, this whole ice skating rink that was set up, and he had them take that apart. He came out, he sang. The videos on social media were misleading. He did sing some stuff, but there was some other stuff he was turning up. I think his DJ played Ice Spice at one point. They was playing, like, house mixes of his songs, and then he left because there was a curfew. Internet was mad as shit. But there were also a lot of people defending, coddling Frank. Very polarizing situation. I want to ask you, what was your perspective on that, especially knowing that he backed out of the second weekend too?
I blame us.
Really?
I blame the fans, and I say that because certain artists, like, we have coddled so fucking much, and this is somebody that loved Nostalgia Ultra. Like, I get Channel Orange, I get Blind. Nostalgia Ultra to me is peak Frank.
Incredible.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when I fell in love with Frank. And I think it got to a point where, when did Blonde come out? 2015?
2016.
2016.
Yep.
We have gotten to the point as a culture where, because he released such good music, we're able to have low tolerance for shit. Where it's like, the brother has not done a show since what? Maybe 2018? And just him getting on the stage, my nigga could have farted on a mic. And you're going to have Frank purists let him rock because of what he was able to do musically. And you know what? Yo, he's a genius. I'll never take that away from him, but it comes down to us being able to dictate what's worth settling for and when to hold that artist accountable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Frank, gave us 20 songs?
On what?
I think the set, it was 20
Oh,
songs.
yeah.
It was 20 songs.
Yeah, something like that.
I think he finished with an Aaliyah cover. He did At Your Best. And you got to think about it. For somebody who hasn't performed in 5 years, who was originally supposed to do 2021 and then the whole COVID thing, there was anticipation, bro.
High.
And you came, essentially got a check and bounced.
Yeah.
And instead of, like, saying, you know what, I'm going to come back better. Week 2, he said, fuck it, I'm good.
Yeah.
That goes to show, I don't know if you care about it like that. And that's fine. Like, we've had conversations in the office the last few weeks about artists not caring anymore. Like, I was talking to Swizz yesterday, and I was like, yo, there's certain artists, I won't say who, there's certain artists who I think they got their bread, and they're good. They don't care no more. And that's fine. But don't dupe the public and come out and do some fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think my nigga ASAP Rocky, like, he's never gonna drop another album.
He don't need to.
He don't need to. And
he's
that's
still
cool.
getting headlining at Rolling Loud.
And
they still calling
bro,
this
he's
nigga.
still getting checks. He's still getting headlining checks.
Niggas still want to hear Praise the Lord and Goldie.
He's getting probably 1.5. You know what I'm saying? And I remember having a conversation with Ferg, and I said the same thing. I said, yo, I don't think y'all care no more. Said it to him. Word, nigga. Ferg hasn't dropped in what?
It's been a while.
The Courtside joint came out 2019.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Pivot. Just don't mislead your fans with bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the thing that, like, and it was a touchy conversation with Frank because he told the story of his brother. We know he lost his brother in 2020, and they enjoyed Coachella together, and being on stage, you know, it drummed up some difficult memories for him. And I get that. I'm super sympathetic to that cause.
Of course.
But people paid thousands of dollars to be at Coachella expecting to see something. You know, like, you are the type of, Frank is a very elusive artist. Like, we've been able to put him on this pedestal because he's so far away from us. Like, he's reached deity levels in music, and people will defend anything. I saw people calling this shit genius or Frank gamed, and shit, he kind of did scam the people a little bit.
Bro,
but like,
and that's because he was outside. Just seeing him outside was enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why it's on us, bro. Like, we don't have a rubric no more. We just let shit fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To your point, like, he's considered deity. He's considered a genius. You're expecting genius level shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, for me, it was just like, I felt bad for the people who went, you know, and then they replaced him with Blink-182 the next weekend. I'm sure a certain subsection of people, the whites, love that shit. Of course. You know, the niggas, we was there for Frank. Niggas want to see Frank. Like,
I don't know if you saw, like, there was a whole thing, like a report. Like, there were, like, Google searches, it went up 700% about fans Googling how to, like, get refunds.
Wow.
For their Coachella tickets, you know. It's nasty, bro. And to your point, I think it's important to say this too. I lately been, like, trying to develop this outside looking in. If I wasn't in the industry, like, as a fan, I'd be pissed.
Yeah,
like, I think
100%.
we don't realize the how fortunate we are to just be able to go to shows, not have to pay for shit. There's motherfuckers that are taking out credit cards to go to shows.
Yeah.
There's people who don't have jobs. I mean, shit, you saw Swarm, I'm sure. Like, the levels people will go, and for you to, like, deliver minimal shit, that's hard, man.
And I've felt for a while Frank don't really like his fans. Like, I've honestly felt that way for a long time. Like, the way Frank fans act, like, they're not Barb level or Beehive level, but they're a crazed fan base. Like, I've gotten into a lot of Frank arguments over the years, and I like Frank a lot. All of his projects I really like. Like, Blonde's a classic to me. Channel Orange a classic to me. Nostalgia Ultra super duper classic. Like, he hasn't made bad music, but the way in which the goalposts shift for him, like this situation, the way people were just like, yo, give him grace, and then, you know, I get that, but for me, it's just like, don't sign up to do it if you're not going to do it full out. Like, I don't want to be insensitive and say we all go through shit, but, like, we all do go through shit, and it's okay. People would have been understanding if Frank was like, yo, I know I signed up to do this, but I can't, like, and did that ahead of time. But to come up that night, give some half-ass shit like that for me was just like, nah, man, I can't defend this. I can't.
You know what I would say, and there's a lot of artists who I've spoken to, like, we were talking about just, like, not having the heart for it anymore. I'd respect it if you just keep it 1,000 and cats just end up songwriting. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats who told me, like, yeah, I don't feel like doing this artist shit no more. I just want to write.
Yeah.
I think Frank is one of the best songwriters.
Elite pen.
Ever.
Elite pen.
And he can easily just get a bag just songwriting.
Who would turn Frank down if he wanted to write for them? Who would turn that down?
You feel me?
So, yeah, wild situation. I empathize with all the people who went. I hope you had a good time though. Metro set looked really dope.
80,000 people.
Lotto looked like she cooked out there. Like a lot of people had great moments. Jai Paul. A lot of people were excited for. Yeah, it was a lot of great shit out there. But speaking of a performer who does perform and delivers, I seen it with my own eyes at Dreamville Fest. Usher's talking about doing the Super Bowl. I remember there were conversations about it after Rihanna's performance, and there was people on the timeline saying Usher don't have the catalog for a Super Bowl performance. Where did we go wrong as a society? No Child Left Behind has left all of us behind. Niggas is not doing their homework. Y'all clearly have not heard 8701, My Way, or Confessions. Shit. Oh my, like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. Take it away. Like, bro, like.
I got you. I think people forget, like, to your point, you brought up Oh My God. And you were talking about the black classics. You were talking about My Way, 8701, Confessions. Like, there was a moment he had the dance pop scene on 10.
Him, Pitbull, did David Guetta, like, yo.
Listen.
He stayed with one of them little ounce joints, and they was hitting. Them ounce was ouncing. They was ouncing.
And that's a fact. And, you know, I actually am planning to go see Usher in Vegas in June for my birthday.
That's hard.
And if you have seen, which I'm sure you have on Instagram, the shit that he's able to do at his show, imagine you transfer that over into a Super Bowl field.
Big budget.
And you got a 12-minute window? Oh, he's going nuts.
Bro.
He's going crazy.
Bro, it's like, there's just so much he could do, so many directions he could take it. Like, we saw Rihanna do a lot more of her upbeat stuff, but I'm not gonna get mad if Usher brings out My Boo or You Got It Bad at the Super Bowl. Nigga, I'm going crazy. I'm lit in there, bro.
He's throwing Alicia the Super Live.
Yo, yeah, and like, you think of who he could bring out too, like.
Imagine,
Bro, come on. Luda, Lil Jon, come on, man, come on.
Hove, make it happen.
Yeah, we need that. We need that.
Hove, make it happen.
And again, and this is something we talk about on the pod. We tried to get too deep into it, but I think it would just be another reminder for everyone who wants to have this Usher Chris Brown versus conversation. Niggas is not touching Usher. And Chris is great. Chris is fantastic. Shit, I'd love to see Chris at a Super Bowl one day, but Usher, bro, Usher is just. He's in the upper echelon.
He's God level.
Yeah, like, that's just what it is. So for y'all questioning whether he should do a Super Bowl or not, please do your homework. Do your homework.
And Raymond is Zoe.
Yeah, facts. You know facts. We out here. We out here. Let's get into some new music from the last few weeks. Swizz Beatz, actually, you mentioned him before. Hip Hop 50 Volume 2. How'd you feel about the project?
I thought it was cool. And you know, speaking to him yesterday, it was an appetizer. I could appreciate, you know, one nugget he gave me was that he essentially could have just taken anything out of his hard drive and just threw it. Yeah. He actually went into the studio with each cat and actually cooked up new records. Yeah. So I could appreciate that. I was hoping that Jay was going to be on the Wayne record. He teased us with the ad-libs and everything. Yeah. But I think, my favorite records were actually the first two. It was the Nas record and it was the Wayne record. So I thought it was pretty cool. It was solid.
Yeah, it felt very vintage. Felt very, true to Swizz. Seeing people like 5-Yo on a Swizz beat, hearing Lil Durk and A Boogie on those joints, like those were cool. Cause like, oh, that's different. Like I wouldn't expect to hear you on something like that. Yeah. I love Scarlip's verse on Take 'Em Out
with the DMX ad-libs and the
yeah. So this was a really good EP. Like I was definitely fucking with it. Definitely pleased with it. I'm looking forward to. I'm wondering how many volumes that they're gonna do. I know like there's a bunch of different producers who've been tapped to do it. So I'm looking forward to the next one. I know it was Premier who did the first.
Primo did the first one.
Primo did the first one. So yeah, they're going crazy so far. And yeah, I like it. Like this is. As someone who grew up listening to Mobb Deep and Nas and stuff like that, like this type of hip hop is I always appreciate hearing it.
1,000%. And talking to Swizz yesterday, he said he has more music on the way. He told me he got a tape with Wayne coming. He got a tape with Jada coming. Okay. So I hold niggas accountable. I said, don't lie to me, man.
Yeah, we need that.
We need that. So he was like, it's gonna come this year. So hopefully he delivers on his promise. But a Swizz and Wayne tape.
Eesh. That sounds scary.
That sounds nuts, bro. Swizz and Jada, like, Yeah, I need that.
Absolutely.
Both of them.
Absolutely. Post Malone, man, this Diamond collection, to be what 8 years into your career and be able to put together a project of 8 Diamond songs throughout your 8 years of activity. That's pretty crazy, man. Like, and Post gets a lot of critique, and I get it. He came in kind of making the rap adjacent music, and then he transitioned, picked up a guitar, started doing different shit, folksy type shit. But I don't know, like Post has always had joints that I fucked with throughout his career. Psycho with Ty Dolla $ign, I really like. That's one of his Diamond records. Better Now, Circles, like like he's got dope stuff. So I think that product is a strong testament to what he's achieved. And it's also like, damn, like you've really given these pretty great songs throughout your 8-year run. So I definitely wasn't mad at it. How'd you feel about just the whole concept of a project surrounding your 8 Diamond songs?
I think, Post is one of those artists that people are not going to appreciate, I think, until he's gone. You'd be surprised, like, if you ask me one of my favorite shows that I've ever been to, I'll easily throw Post Malone at the Garden up there.
Wow.
Like, and the dude is giving you, like, bare vocals. Like, no backtrack. This is just him giving you raw vocals.
Yeah.
And, again, he has a massive team, man, what they've been able to do on the production side, the songwriters. Sunflower, that's like an instant classic.
Bro, it's like 18 times platinum.
Yeah,
like, that is crazy.
Shout out to Sway Lee, man. He deserves his flowers too. What he was able to do on that record, on freaking Unforgettable. But Post knows how to get in the studio, lock in, and he knows how to dance between genres, whether it's hip hop, whether it's pop, whether it's alternative.
Yeah.
The dude has a limitless bag.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, you look at this project, it's like it's mostly his rap songs that have gone diamond. White Iverson, Congratulations, Rockstar, Psycho is like rap leaning. So it's like
Congratulations, like 14 times platinum.
Yeah, bro. Like, so it's a testament. Like, a lot of artists fuck with him as well. Like, we've seen Drake bring him out a few times. They've been together. Like Quavo, Metro, 21. Like all these people really fuck with Post. So I think. And I understand people's frustration in like a white artist coming in rapping and then kind of stepping away from it when they reach a certain level.
Yeah.
But I think he still managed to keep those connections. Like, his lead single from his last album was a Roddy Ricch feature. So yeah, like he's still tapped in, he's exploring different things, and I'm never mad at artists, evolving. And also it's like I kind of just view white artists a little differently. Like, I'm not expecting them to
not giving them the pass.
You're not like a steward of my culture. Like, if you come in and make good shit, that's cool. But I'm not gonna be like, I don't know. Like, I look at him differently personally.
That's real.
So shout out to him. But aside from these projects, what have you been fucking with this year so far?
Well, I did mention Jim and Hitmaker. That's been a tough joint. Larry June and Alchemist. It's a very tough project. Been fucking with a lot of R&B shit, man. Shout out to Jordan Ward.
Great project.
Shout out to Ebony Riley. A lot of new R&B cats coming through. I honestly want to listen to this Chloe Bailey, man. I feel like she's been getting slammed.
You haven't tapped in yet?
I haven't tapped in yet, but
It
I
was
heard
good.
a couple of the
it.
singles, like the Cheat Back record with Future. I think vocally she got it.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. Like, there hasn't been like no home run. Maybe you could toss me something I could see if I remember.
The R&B's been stronger than the rap this year. I really
It's
like
been like that for the last couple of years, if we're being honest.
If we're to be honest, yeah.
I've been crooning more than rapping.
Yeah. I did really like the Don Toliver album. That's been one of my favorites.
Second half of the album.
Strong. Real strong.
Yeah. Saved it for me, yeah.
I liked Black's album a lot. Oh shit.
And I love Black. Like, it's funny because shout out to Jordan Rose, man. He did an interview with Black, and I'm actually interested in hearing a Black rap album.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite songs is Preach.
Yep.
And he was floating on that joint.
Yeah.
But I liked his other projects. East Atlanta.
Yeah, and Free Black.
Yeah. Stronger than this one.
This has definitely been the most lukewarm reception to one of his projects I've ever seen. And I think possibly it was just because he waited so long. The anticipation, the expectations were so high.
5 years.
It's hard to deliver on people waiting 5 years, and especially giving what he gave within 2 years, like Free Black and East Atlanta Love Letter within 2 years, nuts. So, But yeah, like I really like that joint. I liked Ice Spice ZP. I'm still running
Nah,
that.
it was tough.
I'm big on militia. We here.
Princess Diana, the freaking Gangsta Boo record, like the flipping I Need
That
Bro
joint is
Part
dope.
2. Yeah,
That joint is dope.
that,
Yeah.
Listen, I was just talking to my team. I think it was this week, and I was like, yo, actually today, and I was like, at what point did that switch go off where she went from like hip hop cultural phenomenon to a mainstream phenomenon?
It had to be when she did the joint with Pink Panthers, because that was her
You
first.
think it was that one?
Her first charting joint. Like that got her into the dance alternative type space.
Yeah.
Like she's doing that at festivals and people are going crazy for it. And of course landing the Nicki feature is just like that's
And now
she's
she's
outta
doing
here.
she's out here doing TikToks with North.
yeah.
Freaking, she now part of the Skims
Yeah.
joint. So like I am very curious to see the longevity
Yeah, for sure. For
in
sure.
Ice.
The first album, like actual album, is gonna be a big
Oh, yeah,
determinant
that's-
for her. But I think the potential is there. There's definitely some refinement needed, but I'm not expecting her to be perfect. It's her first year. Like what she's accomplished 1 year in is like I'm not. Cardi's run was like one of ones. I'm not gonna compare it, but we haven't seen anything like this probably since like Pop Smoke. Like Pop Smoke had a really big first year too. But yeah, she's doing her thing, man.
It's scary to say that Ice like has already surpassed like Lotto and Glow.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like I don't think it's crazy saying that because
Wow.
I mean, yo, Lotto did have big energy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I think Ice she's doing it bigger and better, and
She
I
is.
think she's probably gonna be looking at a best new artist look for the Grammys. They're all within reach, man.
Yeah.
Off of EP.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. How'd you feel about Yachty's album that he dropped this year?
I'll be honest, man. Like, I still haven't listened to it all the way. And that's not a bad thing. I think I got to a point where I just couldn't get with it, man.
Mhm.
Like I played the first 2 tracks and I just never went back.
Wow.
And I think it's mainly and that's not even a shot to Yachty, because I think his work ethic is incredible. I think it was just a thing where, yo, it's hard to keep up, man.
Mm.
Like, we get hit with so much music that it's honestly like a game trying to see if you can catch up.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And you know, I've never been a Yachty fan to begin with, so I'm not even gonna
Mhm.
cap and be like, oh shit. Like, but I heard great things about it, and you know, I give him his flowers for going in a different direction.
Yeah.
Giving like an alt sound. Like I heard he channels like some Pink Floyd type shit.
Yeah. Little Tame Impala.
A little Tame Impala. He was supposed to perform at South by and he got rained out.
Damn.
So I would have loved to see that. But I admire artists like that taking that kind of direction
Mhm.
and being able to pivot. You know, because there's a lot of artists that I think are scared to take that kind of pivot
For sure.
and not knowing, you know, the gains they can get from doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's definitely a formula that I think a lot of people should follow.
For sure. You were very honest there, which I appreciated. Nick and I will talk about this sometimes too, and I feel especially conflicted as a journalist. Like, it's hard to keep up with all this music that comes out, bro.
Bro,
It is so hard.
It's tough. Like I purposely, there was a point where I have a Spotify like where they have like the new music Fridays. I try to keep up.
Mhm.
And then it got to a point I'm like, yo, this shit feels like homework.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I'll catch it when I catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like good music travels.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's so fucking hard because this is the most saturated time in music and everybody's a fucking artist.
Yeah.
Shit, I got a fucking Spotify. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's doing music, bro. So it's kind of like, how do you try to find a space to cater to everybody?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why, like, and I know you could attest to this too, why it's important to have a team, because you're gonna have your taste.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Let's say Mark, he's gonna have his taste, Amber's gonna have hers, and you guys can come collectively together to get the job done.
No, absolutely. It's tough, and especially balancing listening as a critic and listening as a fan.
Bro,
Sometimes I want to turn that critic switch off and just enjoy something.
It's hard, man.
But it's tough. You're like, damn, like, what if I could write about this? What if, I could find something to do with this? Like, it's tough. It's tough.
Bro,
It's stressful.
It's fucking hard, man,
Yeah.
because there's so many times where you hit it right on the nail. I pray to have that on and off switch, but it's already embedded in me.
Yeah.
where it's like, even if I try, I had the journalist lens on.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But there's a few cats, like, there's a dude named Carrie. It's like Karri. He's from Cali.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a few joints. And he kind of been popping off, like, on social media. He got, like, the 3 a.m. in Oakland.
I don't think I've heard that.
And he got a joint called Only You. So it's been, like, IG, I've been catching a lot of cats. Because you know how, like, you can, like, pick up the audio and put it on your thing.
Yep.
And I noticed his joint 3 a.m. in Oakland, it was, like, on a lot of people's pages. Like, they keep recycling the record. I was like, let me actually hear this. This shit goes hard. And I played the whole record. I was like, oh, shit. This is tough. I was like, I want to see what else he got.
Yeah.
And he was teasing another record called Only You. Let me hear this. And he's actually belting. I was like, oh, this shit is hard. So it's like I'm unintentionally discovering music, which I love.
Those are the best moments.
I think that's what was keeping me, like, from a fan standpoint. And to the point, like, I fucked with it so hard. Like, I hit him up on DMs. I was like, yo, bro, whenever you ready, man, come to the office. And I think those genuine moments, man, are still what I live for.
Absolutely, yeah. Nothing like hearing something outside that you haven't heard before, but you see how people react to it. You're like, oh, nah, I need to figure out who this is, and like, just before I even want to do some work with them, just hear them, just learn more about them. That level of discovery is still the shit. So I feel you on that. Speaking of discovery, let's play some tunes, man. All right, Brother Carl, what'd you bring for us to play today, man?
Man, I bought a little throwback. Went back to the brother Childish Gambino because of the internet. I don't even know how this. It's weird, man. Every time I'm about to go shower, I got my little little speaker with me. I'm like, all right, what tunes I'm gonna play? And I was like, I haven't played no Gambino in a minute. And I ended up going because of the internet, playing some songs like freaking Pink Toes, 3005, World Star, and then freaking Telegraph hit me, man, with Lloyd, the Oakland joint. And I was like, wow. Like, that was just a nostalgic moment.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, peak Gambino.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Before he took that dive. Not like dive, like nose dive, but before, like, he pivoted, he segued over to Awaken My Love. So, yeah, that Telegraph record's something special, man.
Let's do it. Let's hear it. Man, that transports me. Like I said, it transports me to freshman year at college. Man, that was one of my favorite projects. Man, that's one of my favorite songs from there too. Lloyd is a gem. Lloyd, national treasure, man.
National treasure. I love that.
Fucking treasure. Lloyd's vocals are special. Like him and Gambino's chemistry is dope, like really
Yeah,
dope.
man.
Like being older now, be able to kind of assess different things more. Like that was didn't realize how good of a collab that was.
Yeah, bro. I think Gambino doesn't get enough credit. Obviously, I think from a bar standpoint, he could bar up when he wants to.
Yeah.
You know, freaking had that Chance the Rapper favorite song record.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people forget vocally what the brother can do, and I mean from an R&B sense,
Mhm.
not like obviously Awake and like from the funk sense, but from an R&B sense, he can get in that bag.
Yeah.
Easy, man.
Yeah, he's a better vocalist than I think people might give him credit for. Just because he's not like a powerhouse singer, but like he gets the job done, like better than gets the job done. I think he's really good. So great track, man. Thank you for bringing that. I might have to tap into that the project on the way home for real.
It's a gem.
My track is taking it in a little different direction. This artist, I discovered her during the summer while I was working at Uprock. Shout out to the Uprock's team. I covered her on the columns a bunch and kept up with her. Like she's a really, really very like good rapper. Like I was blown away by her rap ability. So this is Glass Slipper Flows. This is by Wynne. Let's tap into that. She's good. She's good. She goes for another 2 minutes too.
That is some grown woman bars right there.
Yeah. She doesn't hold back. Like I love it's very like what's the word I'm looking for? Very I love the vulgarity of it. Like I do. I love the vulgarity of it is like dope because it's like she's cocky. She calls men out for their bullshit. Like it's just a lot of great stuff too. And she's got a lot of great music overall. Like she got a track Look at You that's going crazy. She's dropping a track soon called Jaw Morant.
Wow.
Jaw Morant will be out by the time y'all hear this episode.
Is she from New York?
She's from Portland, Oregon.
Portland. I heard Portland. Okay.
Portland,
Wow.
Oregon. Yeah. She did a track with JID a couple years ago. She's actually with Genius Distro now too.
That's
like
tough.
Genius is distributing her stuff. So I've seen her grow a lot in just a few months that I've been keeping up with her. And she's real popular. So this track is one of my favorites from her. Is like more like back, like I could definitely hear like the Drake inspiration there a little bit, like one of those soul sample type beats, just free verse. But she killed it. She killed it. A lot of good punchlines, pinching pennies, like Proud Family. Like she's dope. She's
Plan B bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wynne is good. So if you haven't heard Wynne, if you haven't heard Telegraph Avenue, then like what are you doing? But if you want to check these tracks out and previous tracks that we played, hit the Stay Busy Slide Deck playlist on all streaming platforms. If you want to send us some music, you can email us at staybusypod@gmail.com or DM us at staybusypod, Twitter, and Instagram. Whether you're an artist or a fan, put us on to some new music. I'm always trying to hear some new shit, so put me on. We take our headphones off. Let's start with the journey, man. Like, did young 7-year-old Carl know that he wanted to be writing about music and talking about music on camera?
Not writing about music, but I knew I wanted to be a journalist. I always say this story, like, you may be familiar. You're old enough. You remember Doug on Nickelodeon?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Doug used to have the journal. So I remember I had like a binder, like when I was a kid, and I would just write endlessly, nonstop. And I remember, you know, my parents, I was able to fucking get like highlights. And along with highlights, I would get Slam Magazine. So shout out to Scoop Jackson, man. I still haven't met Scoop yet, man. But the day I meet Scoop, like he was so instrumental in, you know, my journalism growth and process. I used to read Slam Magazine religiously. I thought I was going to be a Scoop Jackson, Stephen A. Smith, Stuart Scott hybrid. And I was a sports editor in high school.
Wow.
And I remember winning 3rd place in Long Island for like my editorial piece.
Wow.
So I think that put the battery in my back, like, yo, I can really do this, you know. And lo and behold, I go to Howard, and when I was at home before I went to Howard, I used to be on hiphopgame.com religiously, just listening to music. And they were one of the first few places like I reached out to and was starting to do interviews for.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. Well, what was like the first like interview for you at the time where you were like, oh shit, like?
Would you believe me if I told you?
Yeah.
My first interview, and this is how I knew it was destiny. My first interview was with Joe
Budden. Wow.
Who was my favorite rapper.
That's hard.
That was my first interview.
It was like around like 07, 08-ish?
This was 08.
08?
08, 09.
Wow.
And, you know, my boy, Devin Chanda, who I went to Dutch Broadway at elementary school with, he ended up blossoming. Like, he's not in the entertainment field. I mean, he is, but he's not in journalism anymore. He was the editor of Smooth Magazine. And, you know, he had a contact because he knew I was trying to break in. And Joe had put out a mixtape. I think it was Halfway House. And I just started writing for Hip Hop Game and Baller Status. And I was like, yo, I need that contact. And he put me on. And, yo, it was, the whole email exchange was weird to me. I'm like, holy shit, like, this is all it takes to talk to one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite artist at the time. And I did like a 40-minute interview with Joe.
Damn.
And it was a phoner, and I was just tweaking, bro, the whole time. Because I'm in my dorm room, and I'm like, yo, this is fucking real, bro. I'm talking to my favorite rapper of all time. Nothing can fucking stop me at this point. And, you know, I just started doing interviews on campus. I was skipping class. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, I need to go to a journalism class. I'm doing journalism.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
And it's crazy because my dean at the time, Dean Dixon, man, at Howard, he saw what I was doing. Word was starting going around. And this is when Obama just won presidency. And he was like, yo, since you don't like doing your fucking work or going to class, I'm gonna give you a story for you to do for the paper, for the Howard Hilltop. I was doing sports at the time. He's like, I'm gonna give you something new. I want you to rally up your music connects, and I want you to do a story on rappers reacting to Obama winning the presidency. And I think I ended up talking to Joe again. I think talking to Trick,
wow,
which was random. Shout out to Trick. And another rapper. And this was like, you know, deadlines are tight. I did all this the day of. He assigned it to me. And I really was able to put together like a quick piece for the Howard Hilltop. So now it's like, okay, it's not just blogs I'm penetrating. I'm penetrating like
print.
I'm print, nigga. I'm holding this shit.
That's hard.
So that was a great indicator, like, okay, like we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. I find it so interesting. I know a lot of my music journalism peers started in sports, or I know a lot of sports people started in music. Like the intersection of it. Were you an athlete growing up too?
In my mind.
In your mind, okay.
like, I mean, listen, I can still hoop. You know what I'm saying? But I got like best friends that like went to, like played college football.
Yeah.
college basketball. So I was an intramural cat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you need like a 12th man, I'm here.
Yeah, but obviously Knicks fan, like being a fan of sports, like that intersection, the parallel relationship between the two is so interesting because I started out wanting to be a sports broadcaster for ESPN.
Yeah.
I tell the story all the time. I didn't get the internship. I started interning at a music spot. The rest is history. Now I'm here, but I still get so much joy out of writing sports stories. Like it's like, yo, at any point if the opportunity comes to like get on camera and talk sports, like I might take that shit. So I just find it so interesting. Like you started out doing sports stuff, and then you got the music thing, and now you're where you are now. Obviously, one of the most prominent music voices in media. Go ahead.
I love that you said that because there was a point during my journey. So I wrote for Dime.
Yep. Yeah. I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah. I wrote for Dime that obviously I always wanted to write for Slam. I do not have a Slam byline. That's the only professional regret I could say. But when I went to Dime, I made it a thing where I was like, okay, at the time, there's not really an outlet talking to rappers about sports. Let's see if I can flip it at a sports publication. And I was actually writing a lot about hoops then too, so I got my sports bag there.
Yeah.
But I started talking to freaking Joe again. Shout out to Joe, man. Joe been giving me hella lives in my career. Every time I see him, are you in that mood yet? He gets fucking mad as shit. But no, Joe gave me a lot. Mac Miller, R.I.P., interviewed him for Dime. Meek, French. There's like a lot of cats I did, and we just spoke about sports.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a fucking vibe because that intersection, man.
Yeah, it's
there.
There's so many touch points, and for them, it's fun to not have to talk about themselves or music. Like them niggas love just talking shit. Yo, LeBron and MJ, they want to talk about that too. So
I used to love, and I thought I was a freaking genius because you always think, oh, I came up with this question first. But I used to always ask because we did the comparisons. And I remember some of the answers I got. I remember Joe. I thought his comparison was so fucking valid. He compared himself to Brandon Roy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Brandon, you know what
I get it.
You see what I'm saying?
Get it.
And then, like, I remember, like, French. Like, then you'll have niggas that just say some shit. Like, French said KD. Meek at the time, because this was, like, Dream Chasers Meek. LeBron. But they got that joy that you were saying, like, switching it up and talking about sports. It's a whole different lens.
Yeah. Absolutely. And obviously part of being a journalist is like putting in the work, doing that dirty work. I remember my interview with Daytwan, I talked about like my willingness, like news writing, stuff like that, which a lot of people don't like. News writing it's a grind.
Bro, I'm doing news writing right now. I'm back on it.
It's like you can never stop. You got to be willing to like, get in the mud and do that stuff. But and so you went to XXL, you were news writing for a bit. Like, well, what was that experience like?
Man, shout out to XXL because one of my colleagues, Dan Rice, was one of my editors at XXL. Christine Worthman, who's at Billboard now, she was at XXL. That was an all-star team, man. I really felt like I was like Jamal Crawford. I was like the sixth man because you had Eric Deep, monster, Dan Rice, monster, Manny, monster, Miranda, monster, Roger, monster. They had a staff. So I was trying to just find a place for me to thrive. And, I was scared shitless of Vanessa. Vanessa Satin, man. And she's a legend in her own right. And I just wanted to make sure I could play my part and not step on each toes. And they gave me a lot of opportunities, man. I think I think when I got hired the day of, they were like, yo, can you cover this August Alsina concert? I don't give a fuck about no August Alsina, but I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to make sure you put the reps in.
Yeah.
Like, there was not an assignment, bro, that I would turn down. Like, I've done so many interviews looking back. And you could be like, what the fuck? Like, where's this person at now? But I knew what I needed to do in order to get here. Some people would have scoffed at it or just, pushed it to the side. Nah, I'm taking any and every.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, I identify with that too. When I interned at The Source, I was like, it was a 3-day internship. I went in 5 days a week.
Yeah.
First one in, last one out. I'm getting my name out there. And it was to the point where, like, even after my internship ended and I went back to school, I had publicists hitting me up because they saw my name so much that they was throwing opportunities at me. I was like, yo, I can't even do anything with this right now. But, getting those reps in, like, that's something I encourage to all journalists. Like, no matter where you're at, like, even if it's on your own Medium page, keep writing. Keep doing shit. Because, people see that consistency. People see your name. It's going to take you far.
I started a blog spot when I was at Howard. It was called Modern Day Hughes. And bro, literally all of my clips, I would put that on the blog spot. And I remember I was doing it as recent as it probably went from what, 08 to 2015. And during my Billboard days, E News picked up an old Travis Scott interviews that I did that never got published. And this is before Rodeo. This is before Rodeo Travis Scott. They went on my blog spot and referenced it.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit, this is an interview that just never got published because nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
I was pitching it, nobody wanted it, and it ended up resurfacing like 4 or 5 years later. This is Astroworld Travis.
Wow.
So, to your point, man, like, put in the reps, but also have like a place, like, even if it's a Medium page, man, where people, you never know who's reading or who's looking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. It's important. You got to have your own, like, a spot to get better.
Yeah.
A spot where, like, you can have that creative freedom, not have to deal with the pitching game, because that pitching game is tough. Like, getting ignored by editors, getting stuff shot down. Like, it's a tough game. Like, as a former freelancer, like, I definitely empathize with all my freelancers who are dealing with it right now, but having somewhere where you can just create freely and also have some control for yourself, like, kind of see that experience being an editor, for lack of a better term, like, is great. And for you, man, like, eventually you also wrote at Complex for a bit. Yeah. Then 2016, you find your home at Billboard. Starting out at Billboard, landing that gig, man, like, what was that process like, and how did it feel, like, landing at one of the most prominent names in journalism?
It was validation. I am a huge manifester, and I've always used to tell myself by 27, I would be at Billboard. And this is me at 18, 19. My first byline was at 26. And, at the time, I had just moved out of Long Island. We sold the house. I got laid off the week before I was moving into my first apartment.
Wow.
And when I tell you I had no money in my account, I think I got a severance, 1 week severance, and I had like $1,000 on my savings account. Put that together, that's what I need. I need like $2,200 to move in. I did. And I remember hitting everybody up. And I'm talking about Hip Hop DX. Shout out to Trent Clark, who gave me a chance.
Great guy.
Shout out to Georgette over at Double XL. She was at the Boombox, gave me a chance. And this is the importance of network. And I was able to tap back in, and I was writing at 4 different places, one of them being Billboard. And shout out to Adele Platone. I still fuck this up to this day. I'm gonna say Platone. Shout out to you, Adele. Love you. But she was my editor at Billboard, and she was like, "Yo, I need somebody to do news Monday through Friday. What's up?" I was like, "I'm available." And she was like, "Really? I know you're writing at X amount of places." I said, "Fuck 'em, I'll quit right now." When I tell you I quit, I sent an email to everybody else. I said, "Yo, I'm working at Billboard." That was the best decision of my life because I was making 5 times as much on the news side. And there's a lot of writers. I'm just going to be blunt because I think this is important for writers to know. I was getting paid like $10 an hour or $10 a post.
Yeah.
Billboard gave me $50 a post. A news story for a nigga that needs rent. That changed my fucking life.
How many news articles do you need? Well, what's my quota?
Double
it.
50 a post. I'm out here doing 5, 6 a day, and then I'm getting paid like $150 to $200 for a freaking feature. At the time, that's big money.
It's bread. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It feels like, especially when you're making the little 50s here and there, like getting that first $200 piece. Woo!
Dog. I didn't know how to act. I was like, "Oh, we out to Olive Garden. We lit. Get the breadsticks. We lit." You know what I'm saying? And I got to say shout out to Daytwan because that's how I got hired full time. I freelanced under Adele for a year, and Daytwan was like, "Yo, y'all looking for somebody to replace Adele because she went to Tidal? Y'all need to look at him." And he always tells me the story to the day. They were looking at me or like Jason Rodriguez, who's like a goat in this shit too. And because I was already in the system, they were like, "We're going to give this kid a chance." I had 0 editor experience.
Mhm.
I'm a writer. I'm a dog. I'm a shooter.
Mhm.
I don't know how to pass the rock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming in already because I'm ultra competitive at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know how to be an editor. I'm just gonna edit my own shit. I just want my own buckets. It wasn't until I got thrown into the trenches where I've really was able to grow and understand, yo, being an editor, this is a selfless game, bro.
Yes.
And there's times where I gotta put my team ahead of me.
Mhm.
And I think I've really tapped into that the last 3 years where I've given some like endless ops, you know what I'm saying, and opportunities and alley-oops where it's like, yo, I don't need to always be the one doing the big interview. I want this person to eat.
Yeah.
This person might be better versed to talk to Wayne than I am. This person could probably deliver a freaking right through better than I do. Like the selfishness, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of editors to really be successful, you got to remove that ego.
Yeah.
In order to really win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think for all of us who are in the writer position who haven't been editors yet, like when you know, like this person could easily take this for themselves, but they give you that shot. It's like, damn, like that's hard. Like those are the type of editors that you enjoy working with. So while we're here, like you mentioned selfless, like what other qualities do you think make a good editor?
Yeah, one being selfless. Two, I think attention to detail. You know what I mean? Having that eye. I didn't develop that eye until probably like my fourth year editing and being patient. You know, I have had some excellent writers where their edit is spotless, and I just maybe had to tinker here and there. And there's other writers where the shit got bloody, man, and I had to butcher their shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to this man because his shit was clean.
Thank you.
I didn't have to. That's why you are where you are. I didn't have to worry about shit. But there's cats whose like edits would be filthy, and I'm like, let me, strap up my boots. Let me do what I got to do.
Yeah.
And looking back in retrospect, I apologize to even some writers who I was very hard on. And I apologize because I feel like I could have had more patience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bro, there's not a lot of us in the building. And the reason why I go hard on certain writers is because, they demanded excellence out of me. So I expect the same out of you because they're trying to lock the doors on us. There's a reason why there's only a select few at that building.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure you're equipped when it's time. When your name is called, you're coming in full throttle. You're coming in, your piece is on time. You're not sending it to me 3-4 hours past the deadline. Yeah. You're sending it to me on time, and your edit is clean, and it's all I got to do is just throw it up. It's good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult balance. I don't know if you've personally had any like negative experience with editors, but I've definitely had a few where I maybe didn't like how they went about it at the time.
Yeah.
Looking back, it's like, okay, I get it, like the whole tough love thing. And I think there's still a balance. Like you can be firm without kind of being an asshole.
A dick.
Yeah, without being an asshole. It's really important. But
Yeah.
I think if an editor is not challenging you, then I don't think that they're doing their due diligence, and they're not helping you either. Like there's some who will just they see a sentence, they'll rewrite it for you and just let it rock. I appreciate being told, like, yo, you can say this differently, like your word choice here, your syntax here, something like that. So it's a very difficult balance. So it's good to hear from an editor yourself, like certain things that you feel like should be done. But you've really risen over your years at Billboard, from writing to being an editor, deputy director, the on-camera stuff. Did you always want to do on-camera stuff?
Yeah, man. I think it really hit me during the pandemic more than anything. Because sometimes you want to do something and you're kind of a bit, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but you're kind of just like, when it comes, it comes. And the pandemic put us in a situation where it's like, all right, we can't do in-person interviews. How am I gonna really rock with an artist and get to see and feel that kind of emotion? The phone is limited.
Yeah.
You can only do so much. And I always say this story. I give shout outs to Speedy. I give shout outs to Elliot because they really got on that Zoom real quick.
Finessed
it. And I remember telling my team about it. I'm like, yo, we need to get on this video shit. And I was doing Skype. I didn't know how to do Zoom. I'm going to get on Skype. I still have my Skype shit, my screen name and all that. And we're going to do these interviews. And I remember I was banging them out week by week. And it got to the point where it was circulating on social media where I had cats like Khaled telling me, yo, I've been watching your interviews, man. Your shit is A1 shit. And then a week after, I have Jamie Foxx, Get Better Soon, who's like, yo, bro, I've been watching your shit. You've been going ham. And I'm like, our shit really moving like that? I'm thinking niggas is capping. Niggas, they say shit just to say shit.
Yeah.
But you realize, like, oh, my shit's on the Shade Room. And I was like, I think I have a knack for this. I think I'm a good writer, but I think I'm very personable, and that needs to be shown shown in person. So before the pandemic, I had already had On the Block, which was like probably 4 or 5 months. I was doing live shit. And then the pandemic came, and I did a lot of Zoom shit. And then my boy Jason Johnson over at Audio Mac, shout out to my brother, he gave me a chance to have a podcast. And he gave me Beyond the Beat. And, you know, 2 seasons talking to producers got me in my bag to where we started doing Own the Label. So I remember the first interview we did, like, this is during COVID. Yo, we about to fly to go see Ross at his crib at the Promised Land. I'm like, yo, I haven't gotten in a plane since 2020, bro.
Terrifying.
My mama, you know, old school Haitian.
She's not with it.
Oh, sick. My mom made me triple mask, bro. So I'm like the window seat, triple mask up, flying to Atlanta. And Atlanta fucking, they on their own shit out there.
It was wild.
It was no, dog.
It was wild.
This is February 2021 because ironically, the interview, it's in my story. Like they still reposting that interview. But when I interviewed Ross, bro, when I was there, nobody had masks on. I'm like, yo, this is peak COVID, my nigga. I'm the only nigga at the restaurant with a mask on. Am I crazy? So I'm thinking I'm wildin'. But, you know, interviews like that started going viral, you know, with Ross, interviews with Gotti going viral. And this was through my brother Jason just believing in me to where we started doing conversations with the Grammys. And that opened up a whole nother fucking door. You know, Khaled being the first one, Ross being the first one, being another one, Migos being another one, and getting Nas and Hit Boy.
That was different.
You know what I'm saying? That was one moment in my career because nobody got them together. And I got them together live. That hit different where it's like, yo, niggas is really moving. Like, the ceiling, there is none. We can keep this shit going. And that whole run right there kind of put the battery in my back to start the debut live.
Yeah, and it's a journey, and like I think a lot of us, you know, you get on a Zoom with an artist, you talk to them, and you kind of get that hunger. It's like writing is great. I love writing. Like I tell people I don't want to write forever. I could, but I think on camera and just in person stuff like hosting, like that's something I think a lot of journalists feel that way as well. So seeing it blossom that way for you, and I remember when I met you, it was the day BJ the Chicago Kid came to Billboard and performed, and then you did like a live interview, and I was like, oh yeah, like this guy's got it. Like, damn, this guy's got something.
Nah, thank you. Wow, that was like pre-COVID.
2019, yeah, wow. 2019. Because my cousin Danica used to work at Billboard.
Shout out to Danica. Out here killing it for the Post.
Yeah, she's cooking. Yeah. But I remember, and I saw that, I was like, oh, Carl got it. Like, because I always knew you for your pen game. You know, like you were Diddy's Black 100 list. Like,
that was crazy.
Talk about it, brother. Talk about that.
Man, Black 100. Bro, my man's hit me up. Sent me a screenshot. He's like, yo, bro, you see this? And I see a bunch of names. I don't know what the fuck that shit is. And this is 2018. And I'm like, why is that Jay-Z, Childish Gambino, Beyonce, Oprah? I know I'm the poorest nigga on this list. Like, these are niggas like 100 million and up. And I'm probably seeing 55,000 at the time. But I think, bro, when I want to talk about confidence booster, that put me in a whole different stratosphere. Like, yo, people are not only seeing what you're doing, they're appreciating it. You know, and that gave me the hunger and drive to want to keep going. And I ended up freaking putting out a mixtape later. And doing
Shut Up and Write.
Yeah, thank you, man. And Black 100 was the first record I dropped, and that was just me in my bag. But that, to get recognized from one of your heroes, it hits different, man. Like, we do always look for reassurance to make sure we're doing good. But, you know, Puff, I grew up on Bad Boy, bro. Like that just hits different when it's one of your heroes that's giving you that kind of love and acclaim.
Absolutely. I talked to Rob Markman a couple years ago about the journalist rapper
Shout out to
hybrid
Rob.
life.
Yeah.
Rob, great dude. Shout out to you, Rob.
Yeah.
So for you, like, I assume, well, like, did you just start rapping a couple years ago? Or were you always doing that?
I was always rapping.
Always?
Like I was as a kid. Like I still remember my first raps. Like, you think you could take me? 1, 2, 3, won't be that easy. My album gonna go triple platinum. Be trash. So
You gotta start somewhere, my brother.
trash. And I used to freaking self-record myself and engineer trash. Like I would put out mixtapes, and there was one mixtape I did like in 2011, which I actually put in some effort. It's called Never Looking Back. But then I took a break for like 8, 9 years. And speaking of Rob Markman, my brother to the death, man. I saw him when we were going to Wyoming for Kanye, and I had never spoken to him before. And I'm in a grown, mature place right now, because back then I was a dog, bro. In the sense that, I ain't going up to that nigga. I'm better than that nigga. That's how I used to think journalistically. And I am so happy because I got to remove that pride and ego. And I went up to Rob. I was like, let me just chop it up with him. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met. And, I told him, bro, what you're doing on the rap side, I commend you, because I have always wanted to do that, but I just didn't know how. And I was always scared of how my peers would view me. And he's like, bro, listen, if you love what you do, bro, fuck it. Put it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And do it intentionally. So what I started doing after that, I was like, all right, I'm recording, and I have a couple rap homies. Shout out to my brother Stolly. I sent him like voice notes of me freestyling. He's like, yo, bro, you got bars. I was like, word. He's like, yo, you should really record it. Started recording Shut Up and Write. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, how can I now let the public know? I just didn't want to drop a record. How can I let them know that I rap? I started doing freestyles.
Yeah, I remember seeing the freestyle, but I was like, oh, this ain't a call? What's this?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I just started, like, I got a selfie stick. I placed it, and I would just start writing the beats, and I just started putting out freestyles every week and started catching some traction. Like, freaking Royce hit me up, like, word, nigga. Kevin Lyles hit me up, like, oh, word. So now people are catching on, and that gave me the extra confidence where, like, all right, you know what? I am ready to put out this tape. And yeah, I think that's one of the best moments of my life, just being able to like push that worry and doubt out the way and do something that I was super proud of.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I feel like our adjacents to rappers, like I used to rap with my cousins too. Like
Yeah.
I let those dreams go a long time ago. But I used to rap with my cousins, but it's just like you'll be in the studio, people, you'll be around them. It's like, damn, like, bro, I don't know. Like this rap life, it just seems so intriguing, the different aspects to it, but also the fact that we study these people, like we study their music, we get to know them, we get to know their lifestyles, and it's like it's kind of hard to not want to capture that yourself, especially doing it for your whole life. Like, I don't know, it just like it like puts that bug in you, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Absolutely. And that's why like I was so mindful of not trying to drop just anything. Like, yo, bro, we're critics.
Yeah.
We're critical of rappers. I'll be damned if I stepped into your arena and I come with some half-ass shit.
Right. Yeah.
So you can look at me crazy, like, word, like, take your ball and go home, nigga.
Facts.
So I wanted to make sure, like, my bars was A1, my beat selection was A1, my features was A1. And, I think I was able to do that. Again, like, shout out to my brother Stolly, who, like, let me record the project in his crib in Atlanta. Like, he trusted me that much, where it's like, yo, you're not ass. Nigga, come to my crib. And my brother Mickey Fax, who gave me a verse, who played me 10 years ago. When I said to him, like, back in the day when I was rapping, and he was like, nah, this shit ain't it, bro. And Rob Markman, who gave me a verse as well.
Facts. Absolutely. Man, looking at your resume, looking at your career, I think a lot of people would be like, bro, what else can he do? But I know for you, because I think we're very similar in this, like, our ambition is just like we get hungrier. The more we accomplish, we get hungrier. So for you, like, what else is on your list? What else do you want to accomplish? What arenas do you want to step into?
Yeah, man. I think I love music, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful. Like, people laugh when I tell them, yo, I've been doing this for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? This is my 15th year. I started in '08. You know, and I'll always be part of the music game. But yeah, I mean, I want to tap into different things. I want to tap into sports. You know what I'm saying? Like me tapping back into the WWE. Like, bro, when I tell you I watch WrestleMania every day, it's like this podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
Bro, every day I'm on it. Like I'm trying to get my wrestling knowledge back up to where, I want to work with the WWE in some kind of capacity. Like, fucking Peter Rosenberg, that's a blueprint for that.
Kaz used to work with
Kaz fucking writing for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I even connected with the WWE where it was like, they got me coming to Puerto Rico next week.
Oh, you going to Backlash?
I'm going to Backlash.
This nigga. Nah, I hate you.
I'm going to Backlash.
We're not cool no more,
I'm
bro.
going to Backlash. I'm actually interviewing Damian Priest on Thursday.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
yes, fucking go.
And I say that because it goes back to my young days where I used to try to go online to find contacts.
Yeah.
I randomly, after WrestleMania, I got FOMO because I watched, Peter Rosenberg. I was like, damn, this is tough. I want to do this. I went on a WWE website out of a whim. I saw like a press contact. I hit it up. I was like, hey, I want to do an interview, see the correlation between music and wrestling. Snoop hosted WrestleMania. Bad Bunny hosting Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yo, they got back to me the next day.
That's amazing.
And yeah, Damian Priest, we're going to talk on Thursday. But to your point, I want to hop in different arenas. I want to do more hosting. I want to I could see myself hosting like the reunion for Love Is Blind. You know what I'm saying? Like I really want to get in. Yeah, I really want to get in that entertainment bag, man. Like, cause I feel like I'm capable of touching different arenas, man.
Absolutely. We spoke with our last guest on the importance of longevity. What does longevity mean to you?
To be honest, longevity means to me, it's no longer like self-serving. It's not about me anymore. It's about my people.
Yeah.
If my people aren't good, then I'm not good. And I take that with me as an editor where it's like, I take more pride in being able to see my writers come up and be successful. Like, show me your squad. That lets me know, like, the success that's there. Like, I'm so grateful and appreciative of the success I've been able to obtain from the solo standpoint, but I get so much pride out of seeing cats like, Mike Saponara, who...
Shout out to LT, my guy.
Bro, he was a freaking intern the time I was freelancing. And it was just something about him that got that white boy swag. Where I was like, I think we could work. And when I got put on, he was a writer where I was like, I want you to be my everyday ace.
Yeah.
To see where he's at now, like he's my number one. If I need something, Mike, because I don't even worry when it comes to edits. It's niggas still in the systems. Like that's how you know it's a different kind of vibe. But I say that to say longevity is like, show me your circle and what that looks like. And that will determine, I think, a person's success.
Absolutely. That's facts, man. That's a great way to end it. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, man.
Success, my brother. Thank you for coming through.
Now, thank you, man. Stay busy. My brother out here, he a young legend, man. He out here cooking, man. So I appreciate you for giving me the platform, man. Seeing young brothers like yourself out here cooking, keeping the culture alive, man. You're the reason why we're going the way we're going right now.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Tell the people where they can find you.
Y'all can find me at The Real CL24 on Twitter, Instagram, no TikTok. I'm too old for that shit. But yeah, man, definitely find me on those platforms, man. We'll chop it up.
And of course, you can check out his writing on Billboard. Check out Debut Live.
Coming Season 2 coming this year.
Season 2 coming.
This
man got management, too. So you know he's serious. He got the management contact in the IG bio.
Go to Drea. Don't come to me. Go to Drea, man.
But I can't think of a better episode to end our season on. Carl Lamarre here, my guy, someone I've looked up to for a while, giving me great opportunities. So listeners, hope you got something out of this. Thank you all for taking this ride with us for Season 4. We'll be back in the fall. We may be back sooner. I don't know. I don't want to give empty promises, but we'll definitely be back in the fall. The show, big changes coming. As always, we say that every season, but we want to keep growing, keep glowing, keep giving y'all fantastic content. So big changes are coming soon, but thank y'all for tapping in. Let us know what y'all favorite moments from this season were. Let us know what you want to see from Stay Busy. Let us know artists that we should be tapped into, people that we should be talking to. This is a show for me and for you. So For the last time, season 4, we want y'all to stay safe, stay humble, stay busy.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy.
Mondays 9 a.m. Party with the gang. Every week, tell a friend. Busy over everything. Busy boys, gotta call now. Ain't you heard? Got the vibes. We put you on. Got the slides. I'm the SARS. Running dog. No, we hold it down.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy.